1 Corinthians 4:2 says, "Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful." I'm about to explain to you the stages of disloyalty. You're probably thinking, disloyal? Nah, can't be me. Just like Peter, who thought, I won't be unfaithful at all. 1 Corinthians 10:12 says, "Take heed lest you fall." So listen carefully and try to diagnose yourself. Our prophet came up with a nice list because knowing helps. They say knowing's half the battle. I mean, you can win against your opponent, but only when you know the word like Scrabble. There's 8 stages to the nonsense. What? You thought betrayal happens overnight? Nah, it's a process. It's a step-by-step rebellion that can transform the most anointed of angels into a lying traitorous hellion. Lucifer became conceited, and he was ultimately banished from heaven on the account of he was unfaithful. He fought against God and was defeated, and when he was cast out, the previous kings of the earth saw that he was disgraceful and shameful. It'll catch you unaware. That's why a lot of people treat disloyalty like it's some weird phenomenon. But the serpent seed was already there. But you're going to pay close attention and learn to recognize the signs like M. Night Shyamalan. It's time to eliminate the unexpected. Like you own a Netflix subscription, but you haven't seen Stranger Things. Disloyalty is real, best to accept it. Now don't be scared, but there's execution after 7 like the Ring. 1 Corinthians 4:2 says, "Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful." When you find something, when you discover something, it didn't just get there the day that you found it. It's been there for a while. And when you discover disloyalty, it has also been there for a while. So let's talk about these stages. Stage 1 is an independent spirit. A different church activity throughout the week and you're a leader, but you're nowhere near it. You say, as for me, I like to do X, Y, and Z on my own like I'm used to. And please, I really don't want to hear it. Then the pastor comes to face you. But you got an attitude and then you act like you're not expendable and no one can replace you. You telling people like when I pray and when I lay hands they fall out. I'm so anointed the paralyzed come to the church and walk out. Come on, pastor, it's me. You don't gotta bother. I mean, honestly, I'm spiritual, so what's the problem? The problem is your commitment is starting to wobble. You can't even see that the devil's trying to prop you up like a 5th column. Stage 2, now you get offended. Like you were sent to the principal's office and you got suspended. Or you were acting up in class and received detention. You still come to church, only now you refuse to pay attention. Stage 3, I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet. The system's unfair anyway, I'm gonna exercise my right to remain silent. After all, I'm not even appreciated. So the next time I have a good idea or even a revelation, I'ma save it. Stage 4, you start being critical. You begin to notice all the pastor's faults and become psychoanalytical. And don't get me started on the church. You say things like, man, look at all these issues and problems y'all are dealing with, straight pitiful. 1 Corinthians 4:2 says, "Moreover, it is required in stewards that a man be found faithful." Faithfulness is a requirement. You have to be consistent, you have to be constant, you have to be dependable. So let's talk about the last 4 stages. Are you ready for this? Stage 5. Now you get political. And you try to find others in the church who are also equally cynical. Over time, reports of discontent within the congregation come to your doorstep. They think the pastor's not anointed, but you're blessed. Stage 6. You're heavily deceived. People are affirming with their own words of the things that you believed about yourself. You feel like the grace upon your life is on the shelf. You're the one with all the gifts, but you've been playing Santa's elf. Stage 7. Open rebellion against the leadership. You face the pastor and tell him his methods of making all the leaders quit. See, now you've turned sinister, and you've decided you will no longer subject yourself to a second-rate minister. Stage 8, that's your execution. Look, a servant is not greater than his master, that's the final conclusion. The Lord himself rebukes this grandiose delusion. What did you expect from a God who's not the author of confusion? Your life and your ministry falls apart and you become depressed. You want to hear the rest of this sad story, or should I digress? The point is, disloyalty has terrible consequences, so remove those thoughts of unfaithfulness out of your consciousness.
Hold on.